Remember the other thing I wanted to tell you.
We're live, so let her rip. What's cracking?
Dad said he couldn't make
Recreation. Mike Hawk Ice RC.
Mike Hawk RC.
Mike Hawk.
Mike Hawk.
Is that anything like huge ass RC?
Hilarious. Keep saying Mike Hawk. Oh,
and I got a load of dad jokes tonight because I have 3 notes for tonight's show. The rest are just dad jokes. Hey JM, what's happening?
Seriously, you took 3 notes and we have a bunch of. Oh, I got a good dad joke later then too. All right, fine. Go down. Sofa King,
what's happening? Hey, what was Michael Jackson's favorite insect? Bee. And you have to do it with voice too. You can't.
You wouldn't know anything about Mike Hawk, would you?
No, I don't. I know nothing about your Mike Hawk.
My Hawk RC.
I know nothing about that. Oh man.
No other interpretation.
Sofa King and Mike Hawk. That is precisely why I made the description for this show as I did. This week's show is going to be is basically going to be driven by the chat.
Are we?
And
are we burned out? Or are we burnouts?
Sounds like an alias to me. I don't know. I actually knew a guy named Richard Hertz. His parents named him Richard Hertz. And yeah, I'm a Richard, but Richard Hertz, Dick Hertz. I mean, come on. I can see that Mike Hawk is going to be lingering around throughout the whole show.
I don't know who did that.
Flashes of Mike Hawk all over the place.
I don't know who did that, but that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Has anybody ever burned furniture before?
Like, what do you mean burned? Because I burned all kinds of shit before.
I mean, like, we grew
up in the middle of nowhere. You set shit on fire.
Yeah, well, we got us a newer, smaller couch. We had this big couch that really didn't fit in our house very well. We've had it, from when we moved from Ventura to here, and we got a smaller couch so that it would fit better. And it's not like you can just throw the couch in the trash. Now, the nice thing about where we live is they actually have a curbside pickup deal that I can just take trash and set it down at the curb, big trash, and they'll come by and pick it up and just haul it away.
Sure.
The problem being that my curb is like 200 feet away down this super steep hill.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
So it's kind of tricky taking a big sectional couch down to the curb. So I decided,
Well, I guess that do you? I mean, you got your lawnmower and a piece of rope, right?
I could have done that, except I've got my riding mower is all winterized.
Okay.
Because my grass isn't growing now.
What about the flipping car? The car should pull it down.
It just seemed like a good idea at the time.
To set it on. You already done this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're asking like pretense. like post.
I'm asking more of, have you guys ever had the thorough enjoyment of lighting a piece of furniture on fire that, holy shit.
Did that come from California?
Yeah.
So it had the little California tag on it too that said, "Hey, don't light me on fire."
Yeah. It's why you all talking about my cock? Is anyone? Oh, Nobody here knows Mike Hunt.
It's going to be one of those evenings.
What's happening, Earl? So yeah, we.
I saw Thompson sneak in there too. I don't know if we.
Hey, what's happening, Thompson? Yeah, so we drug the couch out there to the back of the house, and I was like, hey, lay down some cardboard boxes underneath it, and we'll just flip the couch. And I'm like, whoa,
dude, that's like a
bonfire.
I know,
freaking the furniture's dangerous.
Yeah.
Furniture is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
It burns, but when it burns, like the fabric goes crazy.
Yeah, it goes up.
There was a few moments there where because I initially just took 2 pieces of the couch out to kind of test fire. There was a few moments where I was like, man, I'm just gonna drag the rest of the couch down to the bottom of the hill because this seems dangerous.
Super flammable and toxic.
And I went ahead and burned the rest of the couch anyhow, and a small entertainment center that we also brought.
Nice.
And yes, toxic, super flammable, super toxic. The smell from the couch burning was it was bad. I got to admit it was bad, and there was a plume of this like noxious black smoke that was coming out of it.
As toxic as that volunteer RC bullshit.
I was sitting there telling my wife, like, man, I know a lot of people are around burning leaves right now. Like, man,
Rich has like a nuclear cloud coming up.
Our neighbors are looking like, what kind of trees they got growing up there? The hell are they burning?
So when
I did burn some leaves too, which was first time I've done that in my life. Burning leaves. You know how long it took me with a leaf blower to blow all of the leaves off of the back of the house, just the back of the house.
The topic is burnout, so I'm going to tell you that I burn leaves every day.
It's different kind of leaves. This is fall foliage leaves. It took me 4 hours. 4 hours. I have too many trees. Too many freaking trees around here. And that's not even the front. I haven't even done. I'm not even touching the front yard.
That's right. Oh. That's right. Sofa King, if you're out and you try to light a cigarette, they'll probably catch you.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah. Sofa King, they would. If you lit a fart in your garage, the fire department would show up in California. Several months ago, I sent a picture to Justin because we were burning cardboard boxes. Because we just had a bunch of cardboard boxes, didn't know what the hell to do with them. So I was like, oh, screw it, let's light them on fire. And I actually took a picture and sent that to Justin. Like, hey, man, I couldn't do this in California. This is cool as shit. I just burn whatever the hell I want here.
I grew up with it. Well, we had a wood stove in the house for a long time. Dude, for like 4 years, we lived in my dad's house. And the only rent is we had to go cut firewood and keep the fire going all the time. So, and he supplied a pickup, he supplied a chainsaw and all the stuff to go do it. But we had to do it all the flipping time. And let me tell you, that's a chore.
That's why they don't have wood burning stoves in houses anymore. That old modern technology thing with fire.
I miss that, but I don't. So
I would, I thought about this because my whole house is electric. Everything in my house runs on electricity. My heater, my oven, my stove, my water heater. If I have a freaking power outage here in the middle of winter, we're screwed because I have a propane fireplace. I don't have a regular fireplace. I have a propane fireplace.
No smoking within the city limits. If you light a cigarette, you get an FBI photo. But you can smoke weed. Well, yeah, it's weed, man. Jesus.
Well, that's the funny. That's the funny part about California is like, yeah, you can literally sit on the sidewalk and smoke a doobie, but if you light up a freaking cigarette, there will be a lynch mob after your ass.
Okay, now I can't say that I haven't smoked in public before, but most of the time I'm pretty polite about it. I try to go to a place where there isn't anybody necessarily hanging around.
Being an ex-cigarette smoker myself, yeah, towards the end, living in California, it was like the city of Ojai. You can't smoke anywhere in public, even in your own car. So, like, it was.
That's awful.
And yeah, it was like, oh man, what the? So you could smoke inside your house, but I mean, who the hell smokes inside their house anymore? Nobody. Everybody smokes outside. Yeah. Yeah, good news. San Francisco went around and cleaned up all the homeless people, drug addicts, and shit off of the streets. The bad news, they only did it because the president of China was visiting. His motorcade, they had just a parade. His motorcade paraded through parts of San Francisco where they lined the streets with Chinese flags. Why would you line the streets with Chinese flags just because the Chinese president is visiting? He knows what his flag looks like.
Are we here in America?
Sometimes.
Sometimes when we're not in China, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, Karen will follow you, complain. Yeah. Well, and that's just the thing. And I understand complaining. I mean, that's half of what I do here on the show. I mean, I get throwing a fit. I do, but I think people are like feel like they're entitled to throw a fit. Like, look, man, not every time you see something going wrong, do you got to be like, holy shit, you guys are fucking it up. I mean, sometimes you can just walk by and let people fuck shit up all on their own. You don't need to point it out.
Complain. Yeah. Karens will follow you everywhere. Hey, do you know what Bruce Willis said to the doctor that gave him to his vasectomy?
Wait, I'm sorry, I got lost. NorCal made a comment, and then
they had to take down a bunch of pride flags to put the China ones. Oh, hell yeah!
That didn't show up in YouTube though. That's why it got me.
YouTube doesn't like
pride flags. Talk about
Bruce Willis's vasectomy. What he told his doctor?
Okay, so Bruce Willis had a vasectomy, and he tells his doctor,
"Snippy Kaye, motherfucker."
That's pretty good.
I told you I just wrote down a bunch of dad jokes.
That's what we got tonight. I just read the description of the show. I can't believe we're 38 shows in.
I had to count. I actually had to count. I was surprised myself. Like 38. Wow. That is quite a few shows.
Shocker. Hashtag winning. That's right. 1,000 points to NorCal, starting off the evening. But yeah, I mean, what is it? I see 6 people in here now. I saw 7, 8. I don't know what the people want to talk about tonight, but back to the topic about I'm burnt out. I am a burnout. I won't deny it, but I am burnt out on RC.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of feels like a general consensus of the influx of people that we got from the pandemic are sort of bailing on the hobby now. They're not getting free money anymore to spend on all the cool shit that we have, and they're bailing out. But also, I was telling Justin right before the show, I watched Scale Builders Guild made a new video. It's my most scale video yet, and like for scale builder standards, it was a shit video. And I'm like, this is your most scale video yet? You use the RC 4-wheel drive Toyota 4Runner. You didn't even put a good like driver in there. He had some wonky thing, and he was like just straight, and it looked like he just jammed him in there. Yeah, well, dude. Even our RC content creators seem to be slacking a little bit, and to me, it just screams of burnout. People are burned out. I'm burned out. I know I'm burned out on making videos. 38.
An excellent video yard sale. What's a video yard sale?
To offend me with my habit, especially kids and infants. I would cross the road in the same spot. 38, that's more fingers and toes. Who can keep track of that? Saw an excellent video yard sale at Heavy Metal RC. Don't think I've ever seen Heavy Metal RC.
I'm not. Is that like where you have a yard sale through a live YouTube or something? I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I want to know more about this video.
Or did he just have a yard sale and film it?
I mean, that's interesting. At least that would have been something different in RC.
Selling your shit on YouTube. Wow, I didn't know anybody did that. That's I mean, hey man, if you got a bunch of subscribers, then
I mean, yeah, I've thought about jumping on here. I've thought about jumping on here and selling my 6x6, but I just
the 6x6 is special.
Yeah,
special.
That may just sit there.
It's not it's not
he was
something.
Selling all of his RCs via YouTube. Yeah, I've seen some people do this. Yeah. As for the smoking thing, I agree with you, Rec. You know, it's one of those things. It's just I feel like you need to be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing and where you're at.
Well, I know, like California, we had the 20-foot law, so you had to be 20 feet from a building whenever you smoked. And towards the end, right. You know, I quit smoking through vaping. So okay. I just stopped smoking and started vaping. I just replaced one for the other. And then 2 years later, I just stopped vaping because I had dwindled myself off of the nicotine. So for the last 5 or 6 months that I was vaping, I was 0 nicotine in my vape. So it was just the habit part of it. But I know where the last place that I worked while I was smoking, because of the way all of the buildings were arranged in our like business park thing, there was 3 of us that smoked cigarettes, and we would literally have to walk like 200 yards in order to have a cigarette. And it got to be, you know, like, okay, man, I'm going to go have a cigarette. All right, man, we'll see you in 30 minutes. And eventually the boss would get kind of pissed off about like, hey, dude, taking a freaking 30-minute break to go have a cigarette is kind of bullshit. It's like, hey, I didn't make
I gotta walk 20 minutes away from here to have a cigarette. It takes 10 minutes to have a cigarette. Gotta walk 20 minutes back. Anyways, these guys, I didn't realize that Earl crashed his BMW. I had no idea.
Earl actually didn't crash it. Somebody crashed into him.
Oh, I see.
And
I like the idea of Earl crashing his BMW. I like the idea of like, you know, Earl like more of like a Steve McQueen, 180 miles an hour Earl.
Earl drifting his BMW.
Yeah. Anyways.
That was some bullshit, Earl.
So I'm sorry that somebody ran into you. I do understand the getting your muscles back shit, dude. I've been trying, like, fibromyalgia put me down, and I've been down and out, and it like physical therapy and doing shit, that's tough, man.
Oh man, it was really screwed up, Earl, that, you know, the way all of that happened. And I'm glad you're okay. And B, I'm glad that I saw later on that it looks like
gone in 60 seconds.
it looks like you're gonna have it fixed. You're gonna have all the body work done and restore it somewhat, because it doesn't look like it was like super like a lot of structural damage or anything like that. It looks mostly superficial and cosmetic, which is nice.
I had a girlfriend like that once.
But yeah, the guy was a douche. The guy that hit him was a douche. Like, he ran a red light and blamed Earl. Hey, man, it's your fault for sticking your nose out there in that green light, man.
It's your
The
fault.
hell's wrong with you?
It's your fault I had to run that red light, you bastard.
Yeah.
I mean, to the 8 people watching, thank you for being here, or not. I don't care. But if you want to participate, please in the comments, let us hear you.
Yeah, join the chat.
Don't just lurk. Go ahead and say your thoughts. If you think we suck, you might as well say it.
Yeah, I mean, please.
Hate people who lie, but thanks for the cameraman. Yep.
Yeah. Pay the body shop to fix it. Nice. Yeah, I mean, nowadays with the way people are full of shit, having a dash cam is pretty important, and not to mention utilizing all the CCT cameras that are around nowadays as well.
If you can get a hold of the footage. Yeah, Frank, say hello, you damn French Canadian. Where's the maple syrup? I haven't seen Radioactive Scale for a while.
What are you talking about?
Where's One Loco Spin at? Let's see. Who else could I call out who hasn't been around? Where's my Irish guy?
Yeah, we haven't seen
Mr. Lucky Charms.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Irish legend. We haven't. I mean, yeah, One Locos hasn't been around. We haven't really seen any of the 11 Charlie guys around. I don't know why. Maybe they're mad. I had seen one person dropped out. That means they were lurking there, and we called them out. So it was either Frank or Sean, or it was one of them. They were lurking. They're like, oh God, they know I'm here. I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Oh man, yeah. I wanted to bring it up because I watched a video with Earl's munched BMW, and it was sad and aggravating watching that. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're okay, because I know as much as seatbelts save your life, man, they can hurt. On a live chat last night, and
was that in Frank's chat?
Good old Brad.
I don't necessarily have a problem with Brad. It's just that everybody, if you know Brad, then you know Brad. You know what's up. You know what that dude's like.
Yeah, I mean, Brad's Brad. Brad's Brad. He's always been Brad. He's always going to be Brad.
That's up to you to decide whether. I don't have anything against him. It's up to you to decide whether you want to be around him or not. I prefer not to be around him. Sorry, Brad.
Earl, I am not skipping Thanksgiving this year. We have decided we're freaking. It's been 3 years since we did it. We're deep frying the turkey this year. Yeah.
They were all talking shit, which was good. Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's nice that they were talking shit on Brad.
Yeah, you know. It's like I told Sean a while back when he was all fucking bent out of shape on his fucking rant. Brad's low-hanging fruit. You know? That ain't funny. It ain't funny picking on Brad. It's just not. It's like telling short people jokes.
They're short people. I mean, seriously. Come on, man. I might be an asshole, but I don't just sit here and rip on people all day long either. I mean, come on.
Do you know what vampire's favorite part of sex is?
Wait, favorite part of sex?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear this.
Ejaculating.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to unhear that now.
Bam. I got some zingers tonight too. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what?
I'm waiting for Black Friday. I got a big Black Friday list this year. I finally got just a little bit of extra cash saved up. So I'm going to buy a few things.
Why do they call it Black Friday?
I don't know.
Kind of racist.
Yes.
I'm surprised the black people aren't upset about that.
Yeah, well,
Why you be calling it Black Friday?
all them Terminators are pissed off over Cyber Monday. So
Yeah. Google released some info the other day.
we need White Monday because that just seems like the right day for.
Why don't we have White Friday? And it's funny that this is the topic because I actually did write this down, that Google released that so far in 2023, Hitler was right has been posted on social media over 70,000 times.
That means that a small city thinks that Hitler was right. Basically.
Well, they were trying to make the point that the biggest threat to our country here is white nationalists, and I don't know. Let me do a little math here. 30.
Jesse's out there plugging in the diesel because winter season sucks.
340 million people, 70,000. Hitler was right on social media. Yeah, that's less than 0.001% of not buying it. I'm not buying that. I'm the most dangerous and the biggest threat to America. Not buying it. What's up, Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that is like maybe Rapid City, South Dakota being like, yeah, Hitler was right.
Yeah. White Friday sale, everything triple the price.
Really cuts out the middle class.
Yeah. Why I don't know, Sofa King. I don't know if we've hit the lowest that we can get. I think that we can strive to hit more lows.
Why aren't you scannable?
The words never say these two is together. B and juice. Yeah, that's like Bill Burr said about how black people say everything with the F word after it. That is why it's not racist. But when white people say it, they always put the F word in front of it. And that's what makes it racist. He's like, the fucking Jews. Yeah, that's what. How about Bill Burr's wife flipping the double bird to Donald Trump's back at the UFC fight the other night?
Well, it takes all kinds, right?
Stay classy.
That's classy, how America.
And it wasn't like it was like a.
I like to wait until they turn around to give them the bird. And I smoke as I shoot the bird.
I always like to I reserve the bird for special circumstances. I don't just want to inadvertently people flip the bird too much nowadays. Using their middle finger too much nowadays. Gotta scale it back a little. Save it. Reserve it for special occasions. That truck that starts creeping over into your lane and almost runs you off the freeway, that guy gets a fuck you. He gets a bird. But
that's when you wait when you're passing by and you look over and you reach
or I like the roll the window down about a third of the way and then just creep the hand out the window with the finger.
There you go.
Like that one where you just get the finger out the window. My personal favorite is the Dale Earnhardt fist shake. And that is you get in front of somebody, you shake your fist at them.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's effective. People understand. That guy's pissed off at me.
You don't know the middle finger needs your number one. Oh, I know. And
see, that's like I said. You reserve the middle finger for for special circumstances.
And now nobody wants to watch the show.
Good, you
Good.
ruddy bastards. Get the hell out of here, you lurking jerks. You know it's your fault. It's all your fault that only 5 people watch the show.
I'm sure.
It's not
I'm sure
it's my fault. It's your fault.
We blame the viewers. Yeah, I'm sure it's my fault, but we're gonna blame you anyways. That's how that. Oh, that's funny.
It's your fault that people don't like me.
That's
my
true.
fault. I'm
It's
a
not-
great person.
It's not like I'm an asshole.
My shirt says whiskey. Well, at least that's all you can see. It actually, it's a Whiskey Myers shirt, but I position the camera so that all you can
So it
see
just
is
says whiskey.
whiskey or whiskey because I moved my finger the wrong way.
So I gotta chase a large glass of disappointment down with some
Whiskey.
whiskey.
Used to be a big fan of the whiskey. Big fan. It's my drink of choice. Well, Jack Daniels. But I don't do that anymore. Hey, one person came back.
Look at that.
Or
No,
maybe it's a new
Rich,
person.
people like you in spite of JB.
Oh, man, I have some questionable dad jokes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna prepare everyone that at some point throughout the show there are going to be some questionable dad jokes that are told.
This is great.
Deal with it. I've been entertaining myself today while I was working by watching a particular YouTube channel that has dad joke competitions, and man, some of them I pissed myself.
Wait,
Some of it has to do with delivery. Some of it just is the jokes. Or
who let you parent? You shouldn't parent. See, people should have a license to parent. That's how I feel about it. Like, you should go and apply to have a license to be a parent.
not me.
Because I don't think people understand.
I think parenting is the great equalizer. It's the
Well, now wait. Okay, I got a good story for you. It is so I was watching this TikTok, and I hate TikTok, but I was watching this TikTok the other day of a girl who went on Tinder, went on a date, took this guy to Taco Bell, and while he's at Taco Bell, he orders 100 tacos. 100 tacos, mind you.
Now, did he eat them all, or did he get it to go?
Oh wait, this gets so much better. Now I'm thinking at this moment, this is a gigantic red flag. If I was on a date and my date had just ordered 100 tacos, I don't really care what the reason is. This doesn't seem right. There's something not right here. He turns to her and asks her to pay for 100 tacos. On this, it's $210 for 100 tacos. I'm like, dude, they could have went to fucking like a 5-star, right? He could have had steak for Jesus
You could have
Christ.
gone to Ruth's Chris or Morton's, and
instead you got 100 fucking tacos from Taco Bell. Like, so they're loading them into the car.
So she paid.
Oh yeah, she paid, which I was like,
oh man, this guy's he's a keeper.
I was totally surprised, but she said I didn't want to pay, but I wanted to see where the story went, so I paid for the tacos. Okay, well, apparently they were for his kids back home. His wife had just recently left him, and he didn't understand like how to go to the grocery store or make food or anything like that. So he bought 100 tacos for the shorties. On a date with another woman.
I'm assuming this is a young gal. She's probably in her 20s.
Yeah, she's like 26, 27, I would imagine.
And she's gone out on a date with a guy that's probably in the same age range.
Age range, yeah. He looked like a fairly young, good-looking guy. I mean, the guy had at least the only thing he had going for him was good looks. I mean, the dude looked like candy, and I'm like, okay, well, I can understand why women fall for this guy, but he knew like nothing. Like, I can feed my kids for a week off this, he tells her as he gets into the car.
And okay, yeah, Gen Z and millennials are freaking bizarre. This is a bizarre group of people, and I've said it before. We're in trouble because eventually we're all going to be old and like in old folks' homes, and they're going to be running shit. The guy that doesn't understand how to do anything to take care of his own children.
Yeah, she said she took him to the house. This was after, because she doesn't show after they get in the car together, but she took him to the house, and apparently, yes, there were 6 children there who attacked the tacos instantly. They brought in about I don't know, 10 boxes of tacos, and they were gone.
And it sounds like who knows how long it had been since them kids had eaten.
And so she took the rest of the tacos and herself and left. She was like, I was out after that. I told them that they were my tacos in the first place. She took them to a homeless shelter afterwards and dropped them off. But it's like, wow, there's somebody out there with 6 kids who don't have any idea on how to feed them other than getting them Taco Bell. Did you call me?
He must have a huge mic cock. Yeah. I mean, I get. I don't watch. Yeah, have TikTok or anything like that, but I get all of the stuff on like Twitter and YouTube where people play the TikTok videos and whatnot, and like
sure.
talk about. And first of all, women have done it to themselves. Modern women that can't understand why there's no good men left out there. You've done it. You've done it to yourselves. You started the LGBTQT push for everything, and you also made unreasonable demands on men, so much so that men just decided to start changing themselves into women. I'm not going to get screwed out of all this stuff because women, then I'm just going to put on a dress and call myself a woman.
See, my position on this whole thing is I really don't care about all that stuff. It's just, how do I find a girl who will buy me 100 fucking tacos?
That is another thing. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
will get you so far in life.
I don't understand. How I'd never be able to find a girl who'd buy me 100 tacos. You're out your mind.
I once many years ago, I once went on a date with a gal, and we went to a oddly enough a Mexican food restaurant, and about 3/4 of the way through eating my dinner, I realized that I went to her house and she drove to the restaurant, and I left my wallet in my car.
Whoops.
So as I'm sitting there, I realized that I'm going to have to tell her that you're going to have to buy dinner because I don't have my wallet. And I'm sitting there going, how many times has this story played out in the history of mankind that this jackass is claiming not to have his wallet? But it was the truth. Luckily enough, she was cool with it and understood, because originally I didn't know that we were gonna take her car, but we did. She ended up buying me dinner, which was nice.
Has been RC. There you go. Well, so I got used two RC. So I used two RC, but I also got two used RCs. So it works for me. It's just thanks for being the other three people here in the chat tonight too, Sophie King. I appreciate you being on every mobile device in your house to watch it.
He's got the tablet, two phones, the laptop, and the desktop all going at the same time. Yeah, thank you, Sophie King, Mike Hawk, Tony Clifton, Earl Thompson. Who else do we have? Jesse, JM was in here. Recreation. I think some of them bailed because now we have more new lurkers that have come lurking in the background.
Well, you know, Mike Hawk is back there.
Mike Hawk is lurking in the background.
Back there somewhere. I can't help myself. It's too good. Could you believe I could do all that device in one hand? Yes, actually.
one hand. Sophie King is talented.
So did I ever tell you about the time I was in Mexico and I was watching a magic show?
Magic show?
Magic show?
Did the magic show involve a donkey by any chance?
Yes, it did.
Hey, see? Oh.
Tony.
CXRC, one of the lurkers. Dang, 9 hours? Oh, shot. Hey, Tony. Dang, 9 hours? 9 hours of what?
9 hours what?
We haven't been going for 9 hours.
Of course, you would come in here and interrupt the chat and then be like, anyways. So yeah, he put up the curtain in front of the donkey, right? And he goes, uno, dos, and he lifts up the curtain and the donkey was gone without trace. Without a trace. Rich, without uno, dos.
Oh. All right. All right. I see what's happening here. All right. On that happy note,
it says we've been going 9 hours. Awesome. Fucking fantastic.
That's 9 hours, man. We're breaking records on YouTube for live chat. Hey, I have a friend who
we've been going for about 40 minutes.
Yeah, we're in 42 minutes. It might be that I set it up 9 hours and maybe YouTube thinks I've been going for 9 hours, which is impressive.
Fuck YouTube.
So I got a friend of mine who started a new paraplegic strip club. It's crawling with pussy.
Oh my God.
By the way, Tony, I didn't take any notes really for this show. I just wrote down a bunch of random dad jokes because while I've been working, I've been listening to dad joke YouTube channels. So.
Well, I know we did want to talk about the whole being burnt out on RC.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main topic of the show tonight. But yeah, you know,
RC
our show
burnout.
Are we burnt out? Are we burnt out or are we burnt out?
Well, no, I think that's where diversifying your RC collection is what helps you to keep from getting burnt out.
Cape Cod,
what's happening? If you have some boats, if you got some monster trucks, you got a basher, you got some crawlers, you got some mini crawlers. You have a variety of things. It can help you from being burned out. The only problem is it's very, very expensive to diversify your RC collection.
Right. Well, the RC hobby isn't a cheap hobby. I mean, necessarily. I guess it depends on your budget level. I mean, you know, WPL makes some very affordable stuff if you like that stuff. I don't know. It just depends on your level of what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, normally if you really enjoy the hobby, which most of us do, you're gonna buy stuff that costs a couple dollars.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, mostly it's Losi has got the new mini monster truck, and they basically just, they like put it in the shrinking machine, and they took their regular one and they shrunk it down, which
Honey,
is
I Shrunk the Monster Truck.
yeah. And it's the only problem that I had with it was that they put brushed in it. And that. Why?
We talked about
Why are we going backwards?
About this. I'm thinking, and I don't know. I'm talking out my ass when I say this. Completely out my ass when I say this. But I'm thinking they figured out a way to make brushed decent motors.
Yes. Well, I mean, brushed had been decent motors for a while. It was just the battery technology wasn't that good back in the 90s. The onset of LiPo batteries really is, what more or less changed things. And then the R&D that they've been able to do with brushless motors with sensors and all of that.
Tell me, at your level, you're going to get crap for anything you do, brother. I mean, no offense.
If you have more than 500 subscribers, and you do anything, people are going to shit all over.
And I can kind of understand that going all mini was kind of controversial, especially at the time that you did that. But even so, I mean, just because people gave you crap for it doesn't. Fuck them. That's no great small brushless. Gonna cog. Well, what about that new Arma? There was another new Arma that came out. What the fuck? That new
Gorgon.
The Gorgon.
The Gorgon.
That's got
another brushed
motor in it.
And that one, I'm actually shocked. That one's like $169.
And I hear that's quite a ripper for a brushed motor.
That is, I was like, the Gorgon, freaking stupid. But man, $169.
At the price point, especially if you had like a main dollars or whatever the hell it was that you could have got that for a steal for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the unfortunate part about our hobby is, and I mentioned it last week, the YouTube part of things. Yeah, Rip 2 on RC Sailors. Boy,
with those, I just RC. Every time I hear RC Sailors, I cringe. I say cringe, but it's not just that. It's like I just feel like just get on a boat and sail away. Then be RC Sailors somewhere else.
I can't help it, but now every time I come across or I see the RC Sailors, all I hear is the Popeye the Sailor theme song.
Well, I am what I am, right?
I can't get past that. It's just now that happened, I can never unhear that. And it kind of
secretly like calls their olive oil and eats spinach.
I am what I am. And that's all that I am.
Look, I understand where those guys have a certain genre of RC and it fits. It works.
That's their niche. That's their shtick. All right on.
Obviously it works, or they wouldn't be at the level that they're at. But that doesn't mean that I have to like them.
It would be cool to use a girl for shameless profits if she was smoking hot.
Would it be? I don't know. That's one of the. See, now we go back into the moral ranger shit again. There, Sophie King. Do you really want to pimp your girlfriend out just to be
an influencer?
I need some olive oil. 1,000 points to Cape Cod for eating olive oil, because that's not something I'd eat straight. That's for sure.
Yeah, you don't know the 1,000 points of Cape Cod because that was a good one. Pew! Hey, you know what they call sweaty boobs? Humidities.
Okay. Whew.
Man. Look how that's how OnlyFans started.
Right?
Well, I mean, it's the truth. It is how
There
OnlyFans.
is some truth in that statement. Yes, there is.
And the funny part is there was a recent news article about they said it disturbing how many school teachers have been quitting their jobs in order to take up careers in OnlyFans. I don't necessarily know what's disturbing about that.
What's that Van is that Van Halen hot for teacher?
Yeah,
So
I mean, look, everybody had one. Everybody had a teacher they had a
I
crush
can
on.
just hear the music. I can just hear the riff. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody had a teacher they had a crush on, and now instead of languishing in a a $45,000 a year job, hey man, screw this. You can deal with a bunch of bitchy ass parents and whiny ass kids all day long when I can just go sit at home and I can make like $45,000 a month. Yeah. Hey, trust me, man. If I was hot and sexy, I would be on OnlyFans. I might even name myself my cock.
It's
My
probably
cock's OnlyFans page.
it's probably already taken.
I'm sure it
Probably
is.
already taken.
Sophie came with the wah wah wah.
There aren't. I think about it. Oh, this is so wrong. I think about it, and there aren't many good-looking people in RC. Like, I can't really think of anybody. I mean, the only person that even comes to mind is Tony. Like, Tony has like Tony might be all right, but I think the rest of us are out. Like, I think we're fucked. Who else
What?
has? Maybe Harley. Harley has a decent
God,
body.
no.
No?
Don't give that to Harley.
We're not giving that to Harley.
Don't no. Not giving that to Harley. He's an
He's
ugly.
got such a clean shaven face. He looks like he spends more time in front of the mirror than his wife.
I don't know about all of that. No. I'm not giving that to Harley. I'm not.
I mean, maybe that's all he's got is the headshots.
I mean, I guess our resident like good-looking female, the only one that comes to mind is RC girl.
Is she even that good looking though? I mean, we're really sitting here rating people on their looks right now.
If there was going to be an RC OnlyFans,
fuck.
If there was going to be an RC OnlyFans, and I had to choose, say, between Harley and Tony CC and RC Girl, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, me personally, I would have to choose RC Girl, but
yeah, we're male. I mean, I could understand that.
I mean,
Rich looks like a gray sponge. And throw a bob on that.
I mean, if the sponge was like reverse, well, I guess I'm kind of pear shaped. I kind of in the middle.
Singer.
The new German RC girl would do fine. I have not seen any German RC girls.
Huh.
I mean, if they were reasonably good looking, they will drive views to your channel. And I mean,
well, look, I mean, come on. For years we've
sex sells, period.
Sex sells. Yeah, that's just been in advertising for. That's nothing new. And I'm not trying to say that
sexy men don't sell, period. It doesn't matter how good looking you are as a man. You're not going to sell anything. Even women are going to be like, oh.
But
except for that dude that was on the cover of all the romance novels.
I mean, really, it's just a bunch of shit talking. But if we're gonna, if I had anything to say about it, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to use your body in the RC world to like. I don't think women should be doing that. I don't think men should be doing it.
I personally don't. I don't agree with sex selling. That's my own personal belief because
this goes back to, well, I mean, if you want to do it, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you, but
yes,
use every tool you got. Yeah, and absolutely. If that's just not me.
Yep.
That's
no, and that's where I've said before, and I don't believe that anybody should push their beliefs on other people. Like, because I don't believe you should do it, you shouldn't do it, or you can't do it. No,
yeah, do what you want,
whatever you want.
Yeah,
you do what you
stopping
want.
You.
And that is, but at the same time, I kind of want it in reverse. I don't, if you believe in something, I don't want you to push that on me either, because if I don't believe in it, I don't believe in it. I don't want you to. You could try to change my mind, have a discussion, whatever, but if I say nope, not going to happen, you have to respect that as well. I think that's part of the problem with society right now is
I don't think anybody has to respect anything, but
I ain't hating on you beautiful people, Sophie King. I'm telling you, man. We can't all be the champ. You know what? I mean, RC Propaganda is the champ. And I mean, hell, how many times do you see the champ and the king of RCs in the chat at the same time?
Not every Wednesday night.
And tonight, that's right, people. We had the champ and the king here at the same time.
Apparently, you got to go around and troll a lot to get that to happen.
And not to mention, you got to remember, I'm the RC Supreme Master. So you get the Master, the King, and the Champ all hanging out together.
Are you gonna start fucking patting yourself on the back now too? And
I might.
So thank you very much for being here tonight, Rich.
So I'm going to lay across a Lamborghini and a Speedo. Nobody wants that, Earl. Nobody wants to see this in a Speedo. I mean, maybe somebody was, but I don't think anybody does. 20 years ago? Hell yeah.
20 years ago.
Y'all would have been marveling at my handsomeness.
20 years ago, we were Greek gods.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years ago, that's right. You all have been freaking, damn, Rich is sexy. Not anymore. I'm old and fat.
Not anymore. Oh, boy. This show's off the rails. Here we go.
That's the way this show is supposed to be. There aren't supposed to be any rails. Hey, yeah.
Mr. Entertainment, thank you so much for being.
Now I know where Sticky Garcia came from. Hey, have you guys ever heard of a reverse exorcism?
A reverse
exorcism.
Okay.
That's where they take the priest out of the kid.
Oh.
God. I know that one stings a little bit. Stings a little bit. Some of them, I told you, some of them got a little bite to them tonight.
There's
a little sriracha.
I'm wondering how far over the edge we're gonna go in the next 40 minutes. That's the thing.
I got worse. I have worse ones.
Got worse, he says. Oh, good.
It's gonna get spicy.
Anyone seen any good deals on RC? Hey, that's a good question. Absolutely. Like I said, Black Friday is coming. I don't know. I saw pre-Black Friday deals. I would definitely wait just a little while longer. I have a feeling that you're going to see some nice price drops right after Thanksgiving.
I'm willing to bet that before the end of the year, we're going to see two big sales. We have Black Friday, and then probably the week before Christmas, we're going to see some more. Spell strap on.
I don't know.
Noparst. And I gotta spell this out. I gotta write it out on a piece of paper.
You're gonna
I
have to.
can't do
Yeah.
crap backwards.
Oh boy. Here we go. I don't even know.
Parts. Nope. No parts. Damn it. All right, 1,000 points to Cape Cod for making me having to write that out on a piece of paper. Propaganda is looking forward to the White Friday. You know, we talked about that at the beginning of the show. That I'm surprised that people have not gotten offended that it's called Black Friday. It's Black Friday. Black Friday.
Well, do we still call it Native American Day?
What day is that?
Shit, I don't know.
Do we have a Native American Day?
I thought we did.
I know, like every other week we have Gay Day or Pride Day or LGBTQ minus PQRS Day.
Look, everybody needs their day in the fucking sun, Rich.
Not every day needs to be. Did you just hey Google, is there a Native American Day?
Yeah, it's September 27th.
I didn't even know we had a Native American Day. Holy shit.
You're not upset about that? Yeah, Friday, September 27th. Yeah, Native American Day.
I know that for the first time ever in my life, I got.
What about President's Day, for fuck's sake?
I got June 19th off.
How did they get a whole day? They're the fucking president of the United States. Why do they need a whole day? You're a president of a whole goddamn country.
Well, especially when they're a bunch of slave-owning racist bastards anyhow. They shouldn't even have a day. You're right. President's Day. You should just call it Slave Master Racist Day.
Are we talking
I believe
about,
somebody actually mentioned
the presidents or a nonprofit.
I believe that somebody actually mentioned this year that we should get rid of President's Day and replace it with George Floyd's birthday.
White People Day is every day of the year. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Our white privilege. White privilege day is every day.
Native American Day is a day where everyone just gets drunk. Well, you got to get drunk, but then you got to show up to work 6 hours late too. That's how that.
What's the difference between meat and fish? I'm almost afraid to ask that question, Sofa King.
Here we go.
Lay it on us. What is the difference between meat and fish?
God, you guys are making me think. Did you know? I went over to the gas station the other day, and I was fucking hungry because you guys are talking about. There's a new jerky that just came out. I don't know. It's called Circle Jerky. Have you heard of this? You got to share it with your friends. You can't eat it alone.
And when you beat your fish, it dies. And Circle Jerky. It's funny that those two came up at the same time. Do you know the name of the richest man in China? Cha-ching.
Oh.
You in the middle.
It's not really a circle, is it?
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, what this year was the year of the speed runs and the bike, and I don't know what else was really the swing arms are pretty innovative from Proline, but I mean, seriously, I'm just I don't know. I haven't seen anything super interesting to me.
I like the fact that Losi put all of the thought and process and everything into making the motorcycle. I like where their head's at. I like the trying to make something that isn't necessarily new, but really pushing what could be done. and trying to make something that had been an utter failure many times in the past into something that is not a failure. I'm a big fan of the bike. I can't get my finger to point in the right direction. Got a mind of its own.
Well,
I like bike.
they've had bikes before. This isn't the first time to come out. It's just that this has been one of the easiest for people to pick up and run with.
It's Losi figured out how to make the gyro inside the frame of the bike instead of how everybody had done before by putting the gyro in the wheel because it was convenient. They put the gyro inside the bike. They figured out how to get the suspension to work and look like a real motorcycle rather than just make something goofy like all the motorcycles had done before. And they managed to get all that software voodoo wizardry to all work in conjunction. And the bike just works. It just works. You know, it's actually difficult to get the thing. Once you get it up and running around, it's difficult to get it to fall down. If you're just in a big open space, it takes some effort to try and get the thing to actually tip over, which is good.
So now it fits into a younger age bracket at this point, basically, because now kids can drive it and they don't feel like they're just going to wreck it every time, you know.
Yeah, because I remember years ago the red Ducati bike, and there was a bunch. I caught shit for bashing a couple of channels for kind of pushing the thing like it's awesome, but it was a piece of shit. It was a useless piece. It was a toy, and they were selling it at hobby grade price, but it was a toy, and it was clearly a toy. And a bunch of channels were out there like, "Oh, this thing is so much fun," and the people who were honest about it were like, "Well, it's actually not that much fun. It kind of sucks, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's not very much fun." And I remember Shen RC made a big fucking stink because he was one of the ones that was pushing it. He made a big stink and made like 15 videos of this is all the things you need to do in order to make this motorcycle work awesome. It was like, no, dude, for that much money, it should just work awesome out of the box. It shouldn't have to do a bunch of shit to it or run it a certain way. And no, it should be like this thing. And you should just throw it on the freaking ground and hit the gas and run it around. And it's awesome.
Yeah, see, they made it for the masses. They did good.
Still in the cha-ching. RC Cape Cod, if you haven't seen all of the jokes, be sure to go back and start from the beginning, because I started with the dad jokes like right off the bat. What was the I'm not going to tell that one. That one's just wrong.
I see. Okay. All right. But I did want to touch on what Earl said about having a basher that would do tricks under a button. I mean, isn't that kind of what the self-rightening does with Traxxas?
Well, I mean, but that's just to get it back to flip over. I think what Earl's talking about is like you have a button.
I understand. But it's as far as I'm concerned, it's the same theory, because it starts spinning the wheels in order to get it to flip. It starts so. I'm not saying you implement that system necessarily, but it's the same physics. So when you're flipping in the air, it would stop. That'd be interesting. I wonder how they'd. Yeah, that'd be a good one. However, I don't know. Has anyone seen this guy who does the? There were people I used to see doing tricks in their backyard and stuff like that with the armas and stuff, where they try to get it to slide across the table on its nose and stuff like that, like skate park tricks. If we see, and then there's the guy who's doing it. I see on Facebook now all the time, who's doing like super amazing tricks with his. He's
if you perfect your driving skill, I would imagine. Yeah, you can probably do a number of tricks.
Talking about a skill button. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and that's it. I mean,
propaganda says the self-right blows out your diffs.
Yes, and so that was the other thing. The self-rightening shit sucks, actually. I wanted to mention that. That don't press the self-righting button. Save yourself a lot of pain and headache and go over there and pick yourself up your fucking RC car.
Well, I mean, that depends. If it's pain and headache to actually walk over there, then the self-right button helps.
Not if it blows out both your diffs when it does it.
That's all right. You bring spare diffs.
Drive shafts, tires. Yeah, that's the other thing. You blow out the cups. I mean, whatever that shit's attached to.
Kamazai.
A joke.
Kamazai is evidently that's the guy. Propaganda says that guy drives insane.
Yeah, I mean the tricks that he's been pulling off are fucking nuts. They're nuts. Like I think he does it with a Notorious because that was the trick truck. And once you get used to the way the Notorious handles, because it flips kind of quickly, it was quite a truck to drive to do flips and tricks with.
Yeah, because that's kind of like the older truck style body, and it also has like a real short wheelbase on it.
Yes, it has a little bit of a shorter wheelbase, and the shorter wheelbase makes it fucking.
It flips crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah.
What are the strongest days of the week? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays.
Oh, but
I got some easy ones in there. They're not all going to be super spicy and make you go, oh, make that face.
I've told you that sometimes I like to lean forward and tuck my knees to my chest, and that's just how I roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting if they did make, like what you said, like a skill button or something like that, a trick button. I imagine what it would do is either spin the tire or stop spinning the tire due to throttle control.
Or, yeah, I mean, like a button that would do a series of throttle up and brake, that if you figured out the timing of it, it would make your car do something crazy like off of a jump.
Kamikaze button.
Yeah. Did you remove a rib?
Well, no, but that goes back to the skill of, getting your practice in and driving your RC car. The more you drive, it's just like knowing your crawler. If you know your crawler well enough, you know the lines you can make with it.
The kamikaze button, also known as the throttle.
The feature they have that's called the throttle. Well, I don't know how else. I mean, what else would you use to get it to? It's not like it's like a magical robot gonna pop out an arm and do like a handstand at the edge of the ramp for you. A lot of people do, tricks without damaging their RC car.
Yeah. Propaganda put out a showing real world bashing. Some guys just go insane and break every time. Most people are not pushing it that hard, which is, I mean, I said before, not everybody is Kevin Talbot and wants to go out and just do ludicrous stuff all the time.
No,
hey, I'm going to spend $50,000 to try and make this RC car go 200.
And I'm not trying to, but isn't that what you see? Isn't that what you see all the time is the people who do the I mean, how often do you see the guys going out there and not breaking their shit? You don't normally see those videos. I feel like those videos get tucked off to the side. It's the videos where somebody runs over them with a monster truck. That's what they show you.
It's my NASCAR theory that nobody wants to watch a NASCAR race that's 3 hours long where nothing happens except just racing. Everybody wants to, throw the spike strip out there and cause a big old crash. That's what people want to see.
Yeah, like a gyro going on and off. Yeah.
Mr. Brown is here. Mr. Brown is here. Hey, everybody, Mr. Brown is here. We got a welcome, Mr. Brown. Duper Bash is the goat. Yeah, the mosquitoes were so bad this year. I barely got out much to drive.
Are you talking? Wait, Duper Bash. Oh, wait. Sorry, I was getting confused on some of those people. You're not talking Rich, are you?
Yeah, Rich Duper Bash, Super Duper Bash.
You really think that guy has talent?
Yeah, I do.
I mean maybe he might be a talented driver, but
well, I mean that's what we were talking about is the practicing talent of the driver. Propaganda is right. Talbot just sends it. He is unabashedly just wrecking shit for the sake of wrecking shit.
I could see that. Yeah,
I'm gonna take this X Max, I'm gonna put it on 42S, and I'm gonna launch it out of the skate park and see how much shit breaks on it.
I could see that.
Because 2.1 million subscribers says that's the kind of shit that people want to watch.
It gets dark in here early now. Studio has a lot of natural light.
Dark at like 4:45 here today. Freaking hate daylight savings.
I have a lot of natural light, but then I got to turn on light now. I just look like, well, I look like shit anyways.
Propaganda like 42S.
There you
go. You think that's a joke, but someday somebody's going to be like, I did 42S on my speedrun car so that I could get it to go 427 miles an hour. We're getting there.
Oh, NorCal, yeah, I totally agree.
We're putting more power, bigger motors, more motors to see how fast we can get them to go.
Well, this year was the year of the speed car. I mean, basically, as far as I could tell. Yeah, Good Basher's having some style and stringing some tricks together. Like, and that kind of reminds me of the LMT guys and stuff like that. Like, you know. But
like the monster truck bashers who are trying to recreate.
Where you go into a backflip and then land on the front wheels and then pull a wheelie and what, you know, all that good stuff.
349 miles in a Durango today. Whoosh. 3 miles in a Durango. Holy cow.
I have some saddle sores. Yeah, I'd say.
That's not a bad day. That's not a bad day of driving.
Oh, in a Durango. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, the new Dodge Durangos are actually not. They're kind of nice.
Well, I have to tell you, because nobody would know, and I don't mean to highlight my father, but this Dodge Durango that he's talking about, it belongs to a friend of his. However, it's not very well maintained, and it's got one of those 8-cylinder, 4-cylinder systems in it, and so it's slowly dying is what's happening. And as he's going down the road at 75 miles an hour, that thing shifts to like 4-cylinder, it just shifts back and forth kind of randomly. It's always so much fun when you're trying to travel at speed. So I'm sure that it was just keep my hands on the steering wheel and do the best I can kind of fucking day to day. Kudos to you, Dad. I couldn't have done it.
You know the average price of a new car right now is $50,000.
Yes.
The average car payment is $747.
Yep, that sounds right.
$747. I can remember when that would get you a 1-bedroom apartment for a month.
I mean, I should be driving around in a Corvette as far as I'm concerned, but I have a Hyundai out front that cost me just that much.
Whew. Yes, it was. I have hand cramps too.
As I said, man.
I've been paying attention because we have lived here now for 2 years with just having one car. I don't have to drive to work every day. Neither does my wife. So having multiple cars doesn't Doesn't really serve us too well or too much, but we do want to get a new car, and I've been paying attention to car prices, and they are coming down because there's a glut of inventory. There's also a glut of repos going on right now. Car dealerships are screwed.
Yeah. They're going to either be sitting on a bunch of cars or selling a bunch of cars. It's one way or
and I saw something recently about how car dealerships finance their cars through the manufacturers. It's a something plan is what it's called. And the longer the car sits on a dealership lot, the more it ends up costing the dealership in its basically monthly payment back to the manufacturer.
Right.
And yeah, they were saying that if you go to a car dealership and you see a car that has been on the lot for 180 days or more, you can almost walk in there and dictate the price within reason, dictate the price you want to pay for that car, and they'll sell it to you.
My first apartment was just outside Boston. It was $650. I had a place. It was $550. I mean, I live right now. Rent for me is $750. Car payment is $750, and I'm disabled and can't work. So you tell me. I mean, how things are. I mean, I understand. The thing is like propaganda. There, I'll be honest. I'm so mad at the world today. It sucks to just get by what I'm doing. Yes, man. I feel you. I'm right there with you. It sucks to do the daily grind and get up and do the shit and feel like you're not getting anywhere at all. Like,
which is honestly how a lot of people are living. I mean, right now, when you
you're not alone, man. You're not alone in that.
Because I can tell you, my wife and I just talked about it because we did our Thanksgiving shopping. And the last time we fried a turkey was, like I said, I think it was like 3 years ago. It might have been 4 years ago when we did it. And I think all in, I think it cost us, like 65 or $70 when we did it back then, including turkey and 3 gallons of peanut oil. Just the peanut oil cost me $65 today. 3 gallons peanut oil. $65 at Walmart. And I'm not like shopping at Aldi or Trader Joe's. And I'm peanut oil from Walmart.
Jesse, you're a smart man. Yeah, don't buy into the car. And that's the thing too. So that's kind of the future, right? They don't want you to own anything. They want you to pay for everything forever. You pay for your house, pay for your car, pay for your
Look at the World Economic Forum's. It's called Agenda 2030, and in it they explain all about the Great Reset. You'll hear people mention it in the media about the Great Reset, which is basically they want to turn the entire economic system topsy-turvy, and that so nobody owns anything. Everybody basically rents and leases everything, and they say, you'll be happy about it. And that's primarily what we're doing right now is we're getting squeezed so hard that everybody's going to be like, all right, fine. I don't care if I can rent an apartment for $750 a month and that's where I'm going to live for the rest of my life. Great. Because I can't afford to spend $5,000 a month on a mortgage.
Yeah, and I mean that's where it's
at. I can't spend $750 on a car payment. Yeah, great. I'll lease a car for $300 a month, and just every 5 years I'll get a new one. I'll just lease it, and I'll only ever pay $300 a month because then I'll be able to live. I'll be able to go out and do stuff and have a life, and that is the goal. And that's why, that's the scary part for millennials and Gen Z is they've been priced out of being able to buy houses. There's, if you live in California right now, the only way that you can buy a house anywhere in California, the average price of a house in California right now is something like $787,000. The only way you can buy a house is if you or you and or your spouse make over $200,000 a year, and you're going to be spending about 75% of your take-home salary on your mortgage, which means you are going to have to live with the rest of your life on the remaining 25% of whatever you take home, which is, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Especially when you think of every single year, you're going to have to pay property taxes on your house. And that's not getting taken out of your mortgage payment. You got to save that money up.
Been looking for a Toyota. 75% of car loans are 125. Yep.
125% of value of the vehicle. And they're stretching car loans out. Now you can get car loans for 7 years.
The government will subsidize or issue you a car. I didn't know this.
Depending on where you live and depending on what you buy. If you buy an EV, there is a tax rebate for an electric vehicle.
I wouldn't be able. I could drive around town, but I wouldn't be able to leave town because anywhere outside of town. I mean, the minute you get outside of town, you gotta have to charge the goddamn thing. And where am I going to charge it at? I live in the middle of the mountains.
And let's not forget that charging your car at a charging station isn't free. You still have to pay for it.
What was I going to say? I was on something.
Even at your house, you're still paying to charge. It's using your electricity from your house. And if it's
like we said about the car payment, so you gotta work so much. I mean, even if you don't have a car payment, you're probably paying for something, I would imagine. But even so, even if you've got your house and your car and stuff covered, I mean that's a great head start,
Sophie King, car dealerships screwed themselves in a number of ways during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point now where they're starting to pay for it. Auctions are full of repos. They can't sell them because literally, you got a Dodge Challenger that sold brand new for $68,000. Some jackass bought the thing that couldn't afford it, kept it for a year. It got repoed, treated it like shit because he knew it was going to get repoed. And now the car dealership's got to turn around and try to sell this thing. Yep. 2 years after it was brand new and sold for almost 70 grand. And now they got to try and turn around and recoup.
It's just a piece of shit. The tow trucks have large gas generators on them now to charge EVs. I've seen that.
It's funny that
new cars track your location. New cars. Yep.
The biggest lie.
How do you think they know where you are on your GPS? If you got GPS in your car, if you got the little display in your car, they know where you are. They know where you are.
They already know where you are anyhow. You have a phone.
Yeah.
They're listening to your phone all the time.
What I was trying to get to before was, like you said, if you have to work for these things, you're gone how many hours out of the week to pay for a house that you live in? How many hours during the week? I mean, seriously, and all you're really doing is paying to drive your car back and forth to work all the time so you can go to work, so you can pay for a carriage to go. I mean, I understand, the grind is real, man. It's out there.
And I know, being that I have a remote job where I work for a company that's in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I'm in Tennessee. And I know that our company has most recently brought a bunch of remote workers that were local back into the office. And I know that was something that happened during the pandemic that everybody was talking about. Oh, the remote work revolution and how it's going to change work and da-da-da. And actually what they're finding out is that actually a bulk of your workforce you cannot have working remotely. Twitter was a perfect example. Elon Musk literally fired 80% of the people that worked at Twitter and has not rehired anybody to replace them. And it still functions just like it did before with 80% less workforce. When you talk about having to go to work. I mean, you think about it, you travel in your car most of the time is back and forth to work. Yeah, so
If you're lucky, you've got maybe 15, 20 minutes commute back and forth to work, you know.
If you're lucky. I mean, in California, the average commute, I think, is like
30, 40,
40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. So an hour to work, an hour home on an 8-hour day, even if it's just an 8-hour day, that's still 10 hours out of your day.
If you have to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning and you get home at 5 o'clock in the evening, man, that's...
And everybody knows that first hour you're getting ready to go to work anyways. So you might, I mean, it's not like you're doing anything other than getting dressed and taking a shower and shaving up and
Earl's right. There, you know, all the unions are going on strike now because they're trying to. And the funny part is that union wages are way up, way up. I mean, I think a starting because I got a friend of mine who just got himself.
I haven't worked an 8-hour day in 20 years. See, that's the thing is then we started doing like the Japanese did, where, you know, just fucking take a nap in the corner because you're going to work the next 10 goddamn hours.
Well, and you also see where younger people now are starting to say, I don't know why we have to work 40 hours a week. We shouldn't have to work 40 hours a week. We should only have to work like 30 hours a week. And it's like, what do you think is going to happen if everybody just cuts their hours back 10 hours a week?
Well, it wouldn't be like that. You just hire people. I understand the concept, but I don't know if it'll work.
Fewer hours, but you hire more people? When you have 30% of the unemployed workforce right now isn't looking for a job. They're not interested.
Yeah, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to. Well, and that's just it. Is because you feel like you work and you don't get any fucking where. You feel like you just bust your ass. What's the difference between paying all this or just living in the goddamn park at this point? You know.
But also the mindset is different. The mindset now of workers is different than it was 30 years ago. People would go into trade unions 30 years ago. They would become welders. They would become electricians. They would become framers. Something where you get out of high school and maybe you don't have $60,000 a year, or maybe you don't want to get saddled with $60,000 a year in student loans.
Right.
You get a 4-year degree, you're $240,000 in the hole when you get out of school. Now you got to go out and get you a job that kicks ass, because 6 months after you graduate, you got to start paying that bill back.
Yeah.
And the mindset 30 years ago, no, man, you don't got to go to college. You know, right now I have a friend of mine. He just got himself an apprenticeship in the electrician's unit in California. Do you know how much he's starting at? $37 an hour. That's starting. Now, it took him, he had to jump through some hoops and he had to bust his ass to get in, but $36 an hour to start in the electrician's union as an apprentice. Now, in 2 or 3 years, this guy's going to be clearing, probably close to $50, maybe $60 an hour as a journeyman. That's not do the math. $60 an hour if you work 40 hours a week.
Well, they're paying $20 an hour down at McDonald's, NorCal says.
Yeah.
Jesse's a union welder.
$2,400 a week.
That's pretty decent money.
That's just if you're working 40 hours a week, which, if you know most tradespeople, they work overtime all the time. Not to mention, you go into a union. And I'm not a big union guy. I'm actually kind of an anti-union guy, but I do believe in the trade unions because they provide a very, very important structure.
Earl, you brilliant bastard. Where were you 20 years ago?
You don't pay disability taxes. You don't pay into Social Security if you're in a union, because they have their own health, they have their own disability, they have their own retirement program. And for most unions, if you work a union job for, I think it's like 30 years, you retire with 100%.
Huh.
So you retire and get 100% of what you were making, Plus, you still have your disability, you still have your health insurance, you still have all of that. It's for the rest of your life. I know, like firemen, or at least the Firemen's Union in California, when you're going to retire, they base your retirement on your last year's earnings, not your salary, but your earnings. So what all the guys in your firehouse do is they let you rack up all of the overtime that you can handle in your last year. And then you retire and you get paid based on that last year's earnings. Some guys are retiring out of the firefighters union in California making $270,000 a year in retirement.
Huh. What do you do, Cape Cod? And why do I feel like you're not a fisherman, are you? That's just sorry.
Union welding is 25. Damn, I'm in the wrong trade. Yeah, but you know what, Jesse? The difference is when you become a journeyman in welding, you can start not just charging by the hour, but they'll charge you based on like the job. I have a friend of mine. He's a single rig operator. He was a union pipe fitter for I think 12 or 13 years, and left the union and started doing his own single rig operation for oil fields. And homie charges $90 to $120 an hour, and he gets to go wherever he wants. He picks and chooses. Last year he went up to Alaska for like 3 months during the summertime.
Oh, you're a heavy equipment operator. Sorry.
To stand against bullshit. The government is the enemy. And propaganda, you are not lying. The government and the media have come together to jam all this shit down our throats and make
Where
us.
was that? Where was that? Because that did not show up in YouTube.
What?
We all need to come together, yeah, and stand. Yep. Apparently that did not. I'm sorry, I missed that.
But that is, I mean, it's the case. And I just saw a gal today, a TikToker, talking about how, Democrats and Republicans, it's a uniparty. They're all they're on the same boat. They're all paid by the same corporations. If you've ever heard of Project Veritas and that James O'Keefe, that guy has a video of him sitting with the he was the VP of BlackRock. And the guy was explaining to him openly, they're sitting at a restaurant drinking and talking. And he was openly explaining to him, like, dude, Congress people are easy to pay. They're easy to buy off. I can buy any House representative for 10 grand. I can get whatever I want. Churches, government. I mean, they're all getting paid by the same companies, the same multi-billion-dollar organization who are jamming shit down our throats and keeping us pissed off at one another to distract from the fact that they're robbing us blind out there.
Apparently, RC Propaganda wants RC Cape Cod to come build a monument to topple the government. He needs workers, he says. If you can operate heavy equipment, we're going to build a huge trebuchet.
Nice. Nice. I'm in.
We'll launch Volkswagens at the White House. It's all I can
I don't know if you know Propaganda, but I'm actually a mechanical and structural engineer. So
this could work. We could actually make a giant trebuchet.
Now, and Cape Cod. So I don't forgive me. I don't know where Cape Cod is at.
East
I
Coast.
want to say I keep thinking that it's Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts. I'm not sure.
I thought it was East Coast.
Because I think I think that area is where Propaganda moved to.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm not that far away. I'm in Tennessee, and I'm in the way upper eastern corner of Tennessee. I'm right around the Bristol area. Probably like P-Town. Speaking of P-Town, hey, have you guys heard about the new female menstrual rapper? They say she's got a mean flow.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh boy.
Mm.
Let me guess. She only plays for 1 week out of the month too, right?
See, you know what I'm talking about. Got some good ones. Hard to find any workers right now. No one wants to do manual labor anymore. Yeah, you know what? Everybody wants to go to college and be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
I get it. I didn't mind doing I like manual labor. I loved manual labor until it started hurting me physically, and I couldn't do it.
I did some
right.
I did some manual labor a few days ago. I moved the pieces of the couch and the entertainment center out into the garage, and then I moved them from the garage out into the back, and then we burned all that, and then I had to go and because evidently
I thought manual labor was when you went down to Home Depot and grabbed manual labor.
Why do manual labor for like no pay sucks? But dang it, don't blame them. Really, all I do is work hard and don't make the money I should. I would be happy with current world at $100 an hour.
I mean, we've just inflated everything. That's the thing is we've taken money and we've made we did what Rome did, and sooner or later we're gonna get Julius Caesared for this shit.
What we did was we overreacted to the pandemic. Government wanted to seize as much power as they could. They got everybody into a panic. They started printing money like freaking mad, and a bunch of people said, "Bad idea. Sending people stimulus checks? Nah, just send them back to freaking work. Just send them back to work."
You can't make money from nothing. You can't make money from the air, and that's basically what they fucking did, and that's what Rome did too. And look how well that worked for them.
There's only 3 ways that governments make money. They collect taxes, they print money, or they borrow money. And in all 3 of those instances, 2 of them are the cause of inflation. And during the pandemic, they were printing money like it was going out of style. And economists told them, bad idea. You guys this is going to suck. A few years from now, this is going to be freaking terrible. And unless you do something spectacular to get the economy back going and get people back to work and get out of all this nonsense, you are going to suffer greatly. And here we are in 2023, where a dozen eggs cost you $6. A gallon of milk costs.
Well, it's not just like propaganda says though. But it's not just a problem here. It's a problem across the world because it's an eco-economic problem, right? We have this.
Well, and people, they want to discredit all of the time, but the fact of the matter is, the largest economy in the world is the United States. We are single-handedly the largest economy in the world. When our economy takes a shit, or people think it's going to take a shit, they panic and their economies start taking a shit. And that's what's happening now is people are looking at the United States going, oh shit, things are bad. We're in trouble here. You know, you have China and Russia have already petitioned the world to get off of the oil dollar.
Let me throw this at you. How many people do you suppose live off less than $1 a day?
It's a majority of the world.
Yeah.
A majority of the world lives on less than $1.
It's about 2 billion people that live on less than $1 a day.
Yep. You know that there are more billionaires in the United States than every other country combined. There's more millionaires in the United States than every other country combined. We have a shit ton of money here. And the reason why we have a shit ton of money here is because when they established the United States as a country, they didn't put a bunch of bullshit monarchy rules, oligarchy rules on it. They said, we're going full capitalism here because this is the way shit should work. People should be able to do whatever they want in order to make money. Because it's also going to get people to innovate and create new ways of making money. And that's what we've done for over 200 years. And the problem is corruption. When the government starts they want to take away capitalism. And They want to say, you don't pay your fair share, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. Who needs $200 billion? Who needs that? Well, nobody needs it, but it's not about fair share. Because look, if Elon Musk pays 10% of $200 billion, that's a shit ton more than 30% of my $50,000 a year salary that I pay. Every middle class person that pays taxes, which in reality, the middle class only represents about 15% of our total income for this country. The rest of it all comes from wealthy people. But when you start forcing wealthy people to give up more of their money to give to poor people so that you can provide for services for poor people, and you don't give those poor people any motivation or any reason to get out of the rut, to get out of the hole that they're in, all you're now doing is you're just Robin Hooding. You're taking money from the rich and you're giving it to the poor. It's happened hundreds of times in history. The poor people will get lazy. They will stop wanting to do manual labor because they're going to stand up and go, hey, why am I going to go over here and bust my ass for $10 an hour when I can sit at home and collect $15 an hour from the government?
Right.
And all I have to do is just abide by the rules. And the rules are that I got to be a woke jackass right now. That's what they want me to be. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just want to say I didn't choose lazy. Lazy chose me. All right.
Well, there's a difference between being disabled and not being able to work and taking advantage of a system like welfare that gives you more money per kid.
Right.
So, I can stay at home and have 50 kids, and then I'll be living like a freaking king or a queen.
That is something I should mention. That my sister-in-law managed to get away with that. She managed to have. I think she's got 6 kids, but she's got a house that's paid for.
Does everybody remember Octomom?
Oh yeah,
she had a bunch of plastic surgeries to not look like Angelina Jolie. But then she went and had herself artificially inseminated to have 8 kids at once when she already had 4 kids. And she hadn't worked in like 15 years. Yeah, I mean, there's
apparently they don't want you to talk about raising taxes in YouTube. If they raise tax anymore, yeah.
And
overseas.
That's exactly the problem. Jeff Bezos just announced he's moving out of Seattle to Florida, the place where lefties hate the most, the evil land of Florida, where there's all those people who are banning books and all that other shit that's going on. Seattle, a Seattle guy.
I can think of a couple of Florida people that suck.
I can as well, but the elderly and handicapped people, it's the lazy Americans, yet not worried about taxes though. And I know Jeff Bezos already said that he wasn't moving to Florida because of the taxes and whatnot, but bullshit. Washington State's Constitution has so that they can't charge income tax, but what they come up with is all of these basic wealth taxes. So if you have X amount more than X, you get charged X in tax every year. And they keep coming up with these because they literally can't get, without changing their state's constitution, they can't get income tax passed. And the latest one was basically he was going to end up paying something like 1.3% of his net worth in a tax every year. And I mean, Jeff Bezos is worth a shitload of money, and 1% of $1 billion is a shitload of money. And why the hell do I want to give it to you jackasses? Especially when you can't do anything right with it. Is the government of the United States or any state in the United States, are any of them doing anything right at this point? I mean, shit, the governor of California just cleaned up all of the human shit and homeless people and drug addicts and whatnot so that they could entertain the president of China. So you have the means to do it. You have the means and you have the ability. And you obviously have the money to do it when a foreign dignitary shows up, but you just let that shit go on all the rest of the time because you don't give a shit about the people that live there. You do more to impress a foreign president than you do to take care of your own people. Why is it that we still have something like 75,000 homeless veterans in California? Homeless veterans! And yet they're building freaking tent cities and shit all over the place to house illegal immigrants.
I got an idea. Let's hand them an RC car.
Well, how can we not be taking care of the people who signed up to die for their country? They signed up to die for their country, and you're taking care of somebody who maybe they snuck across the desert in the middle of the night. Maybe they hid in the back of a U-Haul truck. Shit, maybe they just bought a plane ticket and came over here on a vacation and decided to never leave. Any which way, they don't, what the hell? Yeah, governor of California, great job showing off for the president of China, who, fuck that guy, Winnie the Pooh. Call me rat bastard. 75, I believe it's 75 instances where the Chinese military has...
I must have missed it. You guys should donate your time and help.
Well, they have engaged the U.S. military 75 times in and around Taiwan.
Give them that car, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, dude, okay, like Rich and I have said, I know that Operation 11 Charlie is low-hanging fruit. But I mean, come on. Come the fuck on. Like, how many homeless veterans are there? How many homeless... Like, I see this all the time. I can go down to McDonald's right now and see a homeless veteran if that's what I want to do. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And so then you're telling me that let's hand this guy an RC car.
Yeah, because he has PTSD and it'll help his mental state.
Hope you got a place to fucking charge it, bro.
Well, how about the just the financial aspect of the amount of money that gets donated to charitable organizations to help veterans in this country is staggering. It's in the billions of dollars. At this point, how can we possibly have any homeless veterans? Yeah, billions of dollars. You could literally just buy a bunch of fucking motorhomes and drive them around, and you see a homeless veteran, like, here you go, dude. There's a freaking motorhome. Now you at least got some place to sleep at night. Thank you for your service. Now I get some
points to Cape Cod again for going with the joke there, playing on the joke.
No, I got the joke, Cape Cod. It's just, it is such a. I've talked about the VA problem, how I could fix the VA, and make everybody happy, and especially taking care of our veterans. That, look, we don't need to be spending billions of dollars in hospitals. We got plenty of great hospitals all over the place. Why not just be able to send our vets to those hospitals, and we'll just pick up the tab?
All I'm really trying to do is bring this back to RC, though. Just back to RC, because like I said, being burned out on RC. Are we burnt out? Did we solve? I was going to ask, did we solve this in the last 10 minutes? Are we doing RC burnouts? Are we RC burnt out? Are we burnouts?
Maybe RC burnouts should be the new thing. We had speed runs. Crawling was huge. Crawling is the biggest portion of the RC market right now, but you can see that part of the market is struggling. We have no innovation. Everybody's just making cookie cutter shit. Maybe we need to make burnout cars. Drag racing kind of fizzled out. It seems like it's dying.
Well,
primarily,
isn't it like, sorry.
It's because it's racing, and racing always boils down to the same thing: is who's got the bigger wallet,
Right?
Who's got the most room on their credit card. That's what's ultimately is going to make you go fast. So yeah, maybe but I get the sense that there's a lot of RC burnout out there. You're seeing a lot of RC content creators that are not creating content very much anymore.
Oh my God. You better watch it with my dad.
RC PTSD, oh my.
Oh, shit.
But RC content creators are dropping off left and right. You see channels that just aren't making content at all anymore. Not interested in it. Event attendance for crawling events. You got to look, but it's not growing. We're not, crawling events are not getting bigger, with the exception of a couple. And they, like USTE is getting bigger only because he's expanded it and made it get bigger. Reposting on Insta. I said it before. I said, make your own content. Don't repost other. And that is a common.
Are you sharing something from somebody else? I mean, do you want your friends to see this post, or are you just reposting because you want attention from this post? Like,
mostly that's what it appears to be, is people just repost shit because it keeps your account active. So I'm just going to go on Instagram and repost everybody else's shit.
I don't mind sharing once or sharing in a couple places, especially if I really like something that somebody did. I would share their stuff, but like, yeah, just to repost just so I get a reaction on that post is dumb. That's fucking dumb shit. Sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah, I think social media as a whole is taking a turn. YouTube, I think YouTube is really taking a turn. Advertising money is starting to dry up. You're starting to see other streaming services starting to put ads in their content. YouTube's gotten kind of carried away with it, that every single video now, it's far and few between where you find a video that doesn't have a commercial at the beginning, and fewer and fewer skippable ads. Content creators who have big channels, who draw a lot of subscribers, who draw a lot of views, they have the ability to control what types of ads, when the ads roll in, whatnot. And you're seeing that they have to put more ads in their videos in order to make those videos make the same amount of money. Now, if you're a full-time YouTube guy...
No, Earl says content creators don't get to control their ads anymore.
Oh, I thought once you're at a certain level that you're allowed to place ads at certain points in your videos.
They may have taken that.
You can make your content to have a planned commercial break.
I wonder if they took that away.
They may have. I mean, it's just one more thing that YouTube is doing to kick all.
YouTube changed it last month. Yes, yeah. They do that. They love to sneak that shit in there when people aren't looking.
And something that it was actually in Parks and Recreation, the TV show a long time ago, where all of these big tech companies, and they update their terms and conditions. South Park made fun of it. But Parks and Recreation made a very good point about they slip all of these things in the 957th page of their terms and conditions because they know nobody reads all of that shit that closely. And they do that for a reason because they know they're screwing people and they don't want people to know they're screwing them.
Well, YouTube even makes videos of it. They make videos of their changes and stuff. They announce what they changed, but then they leave something like that. And like, oh yeah, by the way, this isn't gonna.
It's usually YouTube content creators that bring it up and make a video and tell other content creators, oh yeah, did you know that YouTube just did this? And it's like, no, I didn't. Shit. What the hell, YouTube?
Now, I guess it depends on how much you're involved in social media. It's kind of like propaganda said. We all follow each other there. But I mean, you know, I was involved pretty deeply for quite a while, and yeah, I mean, it could, like, I wanted to. RC is a hobby. try to keep it at hobby level, you guys.
Well, it's the same thing with everything nowadays. Everything's a side hustle. Everything becomes a business. Everything is a way to make money. Every way possible to make money, except for basically just having a good job. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make money off YouTube and you want to do that stuff, then that's fine. I'm not stopping you, but you might end up hating RC.
Paying creators directly to promote products. So now YouTube is literally paying creators to be influencers.
Yep.
It's a vicious circle. And I mean, look, I'm not afraid to say it, I used to watch a ton of YouTube content. And I have slowly but surely been dwindling how much YouTube content I watch because partly I'm at the point now where it feels like old cable television, where I get to watch for 5 minutes something that I enjoy, then I got to watch 2 minutes of commercials. And then I get to watch 5 minutes of something I enjoy, then I got to watch 2 minutes of commercials. And it's like, man, shit, that feels like, you know, back in the 90s,
right,
when you had 98 channels on cable television, and yet you could flip through 98 channels at 10:14 at night. You could flip through all 98 channels, and they would all be on a commercial break. It's like, you bastards. You can't just schedule things so that you can flip over and watch something while the other channel's on a commercial. No, they planned it that way. Now YouTube is doing the same shit. You can't go anywhere on YouTube without watching a commercial. Even non-monetized channels, they can throw commercials on there, which that didn't used to be the case. If you were not monetized, you didn't have to have any ads. Now YouTube says, we'll put ads wherever the hell we want, and you can suck it. That sucks. It's lame.
Yeah, no, all the content is the same. Yeah, it depends on the RC channel and what's going on. But I think a lot of things, like I said, there's some burnout over. We've seen a lot of the same things over and over again. We've seen a lot of the same, and it's not anyone's fault or anything. It's just kind of the evolution of where we're at with RC.
It's also the evolution of entertainment. You know, if you think about movies and television shows, and you know, when was the last time there was like a new movie concept that came out?
Well, even so, I mean, if we're really going to go back to this, everything right about the 1600s, after the medieval ages, everything was written. All the stories in the world, everything. It's all about
Well, how many times can you tell the Snow White story? Disney. How many times can you do that? Well, evidently a bunch. Marvel. Shit, nobody wants to watch Marvel movies anymore because you made the same movie like 30 times. You just plug different characters in it, but it was the same basic principle of the movie. And yeah, people, you know, entertainment as a whole is not what it used to be. I mean, I've been watching the Seinfeld show lately. And what an amazing concept for a show that was, where they literally just had a show where each one was just some random bullshit. But because of the cast and the characters, they made it interesting. Friends is the same way. The show didn't, it meandered all over the place, but it was the cast and the characters that made it interesting. And it was a show about nothing. It's just a show about a bunch of friends.
George Washington's hanging out with Santa Claus. You know that shit. Come on, man. I like the whole world timeline being off, though. That's probably why the time doesn't match on my YouTube to my StreamYard.
It's funny. We had the daylight savings time thing, and I went and set like the clock on my stove and the clock on my microwave, and it's digital.
Well, yeah, reality TV shows.
Neither one of them has the same time right now. They're both off by different amounts. How is that possible? It's only been like 2 weeks.
My atomic clock.
And the funny part is, I have, I got it for, I think it was the first Christmas that when my wife and I were married. My in-laws sent me a Russian Submariner watch.
Oh, neat.
It's a wind-up, good old-fashioned wind-up. No batteries, no nothing. There's a wind-up battery. That thing keeps perfect time. Perfect time. I've never had to set the time on that watch. Ever.
Shit propaganda, you might be right. I can't say that you're not wrong. I don't know, but there are some things.
Are we living in a simulation?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about a whole simulation thing, but the timeline being, man, there's all kinds of fucking wacky shit. What was it?
How many universes are there?
I think Shakespeare said it best. It written in the 1600s, right?
Oh.
Shakespeare says there's more things on heaven and earth that are written in your book, Horatio. Let me tell you.
A lot of wise people back in the olden days said a lot of wise shit. There's this dude a couple thousand years ago. He walked around preaching a bunch of stuff to people. People called him crazy, lunatic. And yet there's still things today based on the things that he taught back then.
It happens.
Crazier things have happened. And man, holy crap, it has been a quick 2 hours. See, this is what happens when there are no notes in the show. We just kind of wander around.
Well, and the fact that NorCal was watching us like at least 5 times in his house.
Half the viewers we had from the show tonight were from the same person, kind of. Tony Clifton, Mike Ock. 1,000 points to Mike Ock for showing up tonight. I'm always happy to have a Mike Cock hanging around.
A big thank you. Oh my God. I'd like to give a big thank you to Mike Cock
for hanging around. And on that happy note,
especially with these two nuts.
Yeah. Oh. And then there's that other asshole. Hey, on that happy note, man, happy Wednesday, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next Wednesday for the pre-Thanksgiving, pre-deep fried turkey show. It's going to be fun. And have to go out and have some fun out there and, be nice or not.
Yeah,
Just do whatever. Why the hell not? Now